Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's new episode of Breakfast with Boom. I am your host, Mr. Boomstick XL. Now, listen, folks, this is a bit of a very strange episode. A lot of our panel members are not here today. Obviously, Joe, Mr. Badbit, who is normally here on Fridays, has left the show permanently because of work. He's on the Thursdays Xbox Factor podcast, and of course, we are very happy to have him. And Dreadpool got into a little bit of an accident today. He seems like he's okay, but obviously he's not going to make the show. So reach out to him on social media, let you know you love the guy, and check up on him. Hopefully he is going to be okay, and there's nothing really serious. I mean, if it's no one likes to get into a wreck, and obviously nobody wants their cars or motorcycles or whatever damaged. But at the end of the day, if you can walk away from it and you got your health and you're not injured, then it's not a bad day. You can always replace a vehicle. And let's see who else. Crispy is also not here today because he got stuck with work. BitCloud should be here momentarily. I talked to him yesterday. I threw out a link to a few people to see if we can get a few extra panel members, even if we can get up one or two more. But we do have someone here today. And what makes this special is not only does he have the day off, but it's his freaking birthday. Community good guy. You know him as the voice of many. Noof Nukem, what's up, brother? Happy birthday.
Boom, 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 baby. Like, yeah, I know you're short on panel members, but hey, it's a double dose of explosiveness here when you got the best host in the business. And of course, this old fart down at Bellows. So there's been a lot of interesting news over the past couple of days, obviously. I see you got a fire chat going here already, lots of familiar names. I'm excited to get into it, Boom. Like I said, you don't always need a full panel to have a fantastic show. Like I said, you're always the best prepared guy in the business. So let's get right into it, man. I'm excited to be here, and thanks for the birthday wishes, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, what I'm going to do is Jesse Darby is here. He threw up his signal, so I'm going to reach out. I'm going to throw you a link now, Jesse. I've never worked with you, brother, but that don't mean we're not going to have a good time. So I'm going to send you the link. Joe, let me see. Where are you now? Let me just find you. All right. Well, you know what? While I kind of figure this out and we get some people in here, what have you been playing, bro? What have you been up to?
I've been kind of cycling back through a little bit of the backlog, obviously, and I've got a lot of stuff to get into. I've been just picking away bit by bit at the Mass Effect trilogy, obviously, playing some stuff like Ride and different things, and just some odds and ends. I even went back, like just recently I went out and picked up another Wii U and picked up some awesome games on that. So I've been dabbling back with that little underappreciated Nintendo console. So, yeah, not as much as I wish I could be. I wish I could say I was playing on the latest and greatest. But unfortunately, just the last couple of weeks have been unbelievably hectic in my life. I mean, it's good kind of hectic, but the kind of hectic where video games really just take a back seat. And hopefully I can catch up on a little bit of that over the weekend.
Well, you know what? Listen, real life, unfortunately, is a thing, right, folks? It gets in the way, and listen, as long as there's no family tragedies or anything, I mean, again, nobody likes to have drama, but if you can walk away from something and there's not really too much that's hurting you or your loved ones personally, that's how life is, unfortunately. Me myself, I have been playing a lot of older games to make content for the channel. I have not really played, like Scarlet Nexus is a game that is, you can see, we're going to watch it on the screen for today. It is absolutely a fantastic game. If you are not sure, maybe this game isn't for you, check out the preview that you'll be watching. It's heavily anime inspired. And if you are a fan of that type of, content, this is definitely for you. Now, I wasn't sure personally if I was going to dig this game, but I got to tell you, some of the supers that you're able to do with the characters are incredible. Like, it really is an absolutely incredible game. And again, maybe it comes to Game Pass sooner than later. Maybe you catch it on the sale if you don't have the money for the $60 price point. But again, I definitely would highly recommend it simply because it's semi-open world. I mean, it's there's certain areas that are blocked by the invisible wall when you go, but it's open enough that you can explore and find secrets, which I've done. And like I said, just one of those games I definitely got to get back to for sure. Real quick, Drawn TJ in the chat drops a very generous $5 super chat. Says, good morning, boom, exciting topic should have. Yes, it is going to be a fire show. But you know what, folks? Let me just let me get into topic number one. Now, obviously, there is a lot to get into. Obviously, you saw that we're going to be talking about Silent Hill. That's going to come later on in the show because obviously we're not going to open up with the big banger. Joe, I got to drop $5 into the super chat because I said banger. But I kind of want to really grab the audience's opinion on what Valve revealed yesterday. Now, obviously, it is called the Steam Deck. It is a Switch-styled handheld, and it's a gaming PC that you hold in your hand. It's capable, from what we understand, of playing the best of the best when talking AAA releases. Now, the device was first reported upon earlier this year, described as a powerful all-in-one portable PC, and now it has come to fruition. Now, what's interesting about this stealth drop is it happened to drop the same day, Noof, that the Nintendo Switch OLED was made available. Now, folks, listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. I already put it out on social media that I went out and reserved one. I'm going to be trading in my old new Switch. And I say old new Switch is because I traded the original launch Switch in for the Mario edition. Now, it was red and it looked really cool on the box, but in practicality, that red is just awful. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. And then when I saw the Switch OLED, it has a very slick look to it. The black and white. It's an off-white, but it's a black and white, almost representing or very reminiscent of the original. And yes, it has that same kind of color scheme. I like that. So I was like, I was sold. But the Steam Deck, if you didn't know, folks, goes on pre-order today from Steam at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which I believe is 10 a.m. West Coast time. Now, after this show, I'm going to be hanging around because what's interesting is they're only asking for $5 down, which is okay. Take my money. And there are it's a now let's get into some of the features. It's a custom APU developed with AMD. It has a 7-inch touchscreen, full-size controls with gyro and trackpads. It's Wi-Fi based, Bluetooth based, and you also can expand the memory through a micro SD. It also supports quick charging through USB-C port. Now it's going to be beginning to ship in December with prices starting now, folks. This is where we kind of maybe go on the crazy train a little bit. If you want the one that comes with the 64 gigabits of memory, it's $400. The increased storage options will be available. If you want the 256, that's $529. And if you want the 512 gigabits, which is the one I'm going to get, man, that's $649. Now you say to yourself, well, wow, that is a lot of money for a handheld. But here is where my brain starts to go with this news. Now, look, I have in front of me, let me pull it up right here. Where are you? I have tried many of the portable handheld devices that you attach to your cell phone to play xCloud. And I'm going to be honest with you. I hate them all. I think they all are just straight up garbage. Even listen, again, I'm not going to get any I'm not going to get any support from Razer.com. I bought their key sheet, and that was supposed to be the best of the best. And here's the problem. Look at the size of these monoplas. These hands are huge. So when I hold my cell phone with this little thing, it's like holding a baby toy. And I'm sorry to say, I don't want to play on a baby toy. Now, I have been pushing for quite some time to get Microsoft to make their own device. And that hasn't happened. They don't probably want to get into making device. I think that they are device shy after what happened with the Kinect 2.0. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you. But this device is exactly what Boom has been asking for. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to spend the $700. And I don't have, money just to throw around and grow some trees in the backyard. I don't have money like that.
Yeah.
But this is something I could put away for, because December is still 6 months away. So we're good. But with that said, is this something I'm going to use every day? Am I actually going to be playing gaming on the go? For the most part, because I'm retired, the answer is no. I usually play home. Now, there is an option through like very much like the Switch. You drop it into a dock and it goes right to your TV. Now, that's cool. That's sold separately. I don't know how much that's going to be. What could it be? $50? Am I going to get that? Probably. But the answer is, am I going to use it? Probably not, because if I want to play on my TV, well, I have my Series X. I got my PlayStation 5, and at that point, I'll have the Switch Fake Pro. You know what I'm saying? The OLED. Right. So, but my question to you, and listen, I'm a bit of a tech whore. I like new tech, even though it's some tech is expensive. I'm not a PC guy. I've never played on PC. This is an opportunity for me anyway to take advantage of a lot of these Steam sales that they have. Like 60 games, $2. You know what I'm saying? They have They talk about it all the time. People have backlogs of thousands of games that they bought from these Steam sales. This is an opportunity, at least for me, to take advantage of that, but more importantly, take advantage of playing on xCloud, like when I'm waiting for Mrs. Boomstick to come out of work. What are your thoughts on this? Well, first of all, what is the timing? What is your opinion on the timing? I think it's kind of like a slap to the face to Nintendo, in my opinion. But what are your opinions of the actual device? Is this something that you would be potentially interested in?
100%, 100%. And the timing couldn't really be better. Reason being, this is the Nintendo Switch model that many of us have basically clamored for and never got. Unfortunately, it is not coming from Nintendo. It is not coming from Xbox or PlayStation. This is a Steam-based handheld PC architecture kind of device. But the timing couldn't be better. Why? Because right now you strike while the iron is hot. Look, Steam's obviously, and the people at Valve are not dumb. They've been following the scene for quite some time, and there's no secret that the Nintendo Switch has dominated the market from a hardware perspective, and has done well software wise, of course, on the strength of Nintendo's first party. And like I said, and it's amazing, they've seen this kind of success that Nintendo's had, and the fact that Nintendo even still sells their consoles at a fairly high price when you look at the cost of the competition. So I think this is kind of the portable solution that many of us have clamored for years. We've always said we'd like to have a Nintendo Switch device with the ability to play more games and the type of games that many of us want. Like, I'm not dissuading Nintendo's first party titles, but let's just say, for the lack of better words, their third-party offerings have been severely lacking, and that's largely due to the fact that ports and the hardware itself are very limiting. This is the Steam deck, which means obviously you'll be able to stream, and it sounds like you'll also be able to download titles as well. There's 3 versions of this console at various memory capacities. I think it's a great idea, and the biggest thing, and the biggest plus that they have going for it is that this isn't a new portable or a new device coming out that has to build its library, that has to build its fan base. Steam's one of the most used platforms across the world. I mean, I don't think there's too many people in gaming who don't know the word Steam, what it means, and it usually means great value, plenty of choice, etc. So right off the bat, they have a plethora. They have thousands upon thousands of titles at their disposal. You're going to get crazy deals. You're going to be able to play this. It's not like they have to build it from the ground up, and then you need to have that solid launch lineup like we see with a lot of hardware devices. The games are kind of ready to go, so they just need the device to go places. And like I said, having that fantastic portable, sure, it's not an OLED screen. Nintendo is going with the OLED, but hey, like I said, PlayStation Vita did this years ago. OLED screens are not exactly they're cool, they're great. I mean, they definitely look a little sharper and nicer, but the only thing that would have made the Nintendo Switch a little bit better is if they had beefed up the specifications. The screen is great, and like you mentioned, Boom, with the color scheme, I love it. It looks a little bit more, shall we say, mature. The color scheming definitely appeals more to the adult in us as opposed to the bright or the pastel colors that Nintendo notoriously goes with, which kind of like, for some people, they love it. I mean, obviously, I think the red and blue Switch has been the largest selling one, but like for me, it's a little too bright, and it just kind of, when you're out on the subway with this thing, it just really screams, that dude's got a Switch, or he's got some weird looking device. So yeah, man, this stream, like I'm definitely excited about it right now. I think the only factor is the price. It's still a bit up there, and I might take a bit of a wait and see approach. But am I excited about it? Am I interested in it? 100%. I think it's exactly the kind of portable I wanted. And you mentioned the thing about the hands too. And I don't know if you've had this problem, Boom, with your Switch, but one of the things I've never liked about the Switch was I find I prefer to play it docked a lot of times because I would play with the Pro controller or whatever.
Yes.
I find that the Switch itself, with the ergonomics of it, make my hands cramp. I feel like I'm hitting carpal tunnel or something, you know?
You're absolutely right. And I will say this. I wind up getting, and I don't remember the name of it. I don't want to get off camera because obviously that would be rude. And, you know, it's just the two of us. So I don't want to go away from it. There is a beefier pair of Joy-Cons that is not Nintendo. It is third party. It is phenomenal, dude. It literally feels like the way it looks and the way
the hoary ones.
Yes, dude. That's exactly it. I listen. I'm going to tell you this right now. Again, I don't use it docked very often, but when I do, I use it because of that. The regular Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons. Listen, I said, folks, look at the size of these ridiculous hands. It's outrageous. I could palm face somebody, for crying out loud. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that having those small little things, and I hold it like this. It's weird. I hold it like this, and it's like I'm gonna break it. You know what I'm saying? It's a weird way to hold it, and I agree with the cramping. Real quick, I got to shout out Tone in the chat with an outstanding $20 super chat. He says, "Hey, Boom, gotta match the same energy as Smitty Smith. Have a great show." Well, Tone, thank you for being here, and of course, thank you for your generosity. And if you didn't know, I got a big shout out to, of course, Smitty Smith. He dropped the first super chat of the day, and yes, it was $20, and he has been a big supporter of this channel for quite some time. And honestly, I can't thank the generosity. And Chaos Mite drops a very generous $5 super chat. Says, "I'm here for breakfast. Where's the juicy bacon?" You know what? Here's the thing. You know what? I know this is weird. I don't like bacon that's floppy. I'm going to tell you right now, floppy bacon, not good. It's gotta stand erect. Now, I said that because I said that because Noof's here, and I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Here's breakfast with Boom. I make, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, literally the best bacon you will ever eat in your entire life, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because what I do, first of all, I use turkey bacon, butterball specifically. I like that. It goes into the pan. I pan fry it till it's nice and golden brown. But here is where the magic happens, folks. Okay, I take it out, I put it onto paper towel, on a paper plate, and I take a second paper towel and I cover it. I put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and it's the crispiest bacon you'll ever have. And yes, no floppy, no unerect bacon. It is I'm telling you, folks, you think I'm crazy. Say, how could you do that? Try it, and you will tell me to my face that I have just saved your life when it comes to bacon. And listen, I wouldn't have a breakfast show if I didn't know about bacon, right? But I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. To get back to video games, Noof, you said something that's extremely interesting. Hold on a sec. I just saw something come in. Our good friend Lethal Papa says, my wife doesn't like it floppy either. Well, thanks for telling us that, brother. I don't think any wife would like it floppy. Oh my God. Lord King David. Oh, King David. King David is going to join us.
Is that the right King David?
That is yes. He's such a King David that he says it twice. King, I'm going to send you the link right now, and boom, check your phone for erect bacon. You know, I can't do it. All right, you know what? But yeah, listen. To get back to the video game topic, this is such a weird show. This is crazy, right? Like,
forget all the news today. We're talking about erect bacon, people. That's the topic of the day.
We certainly are. But you know what? Listen, to get back to the video game thing, Noob, I really think you're certainly onto something here, specifically with choice. And I think that a lot of us do take that for granted. Now, when you talk about PlayStation, those games for the most part are going to be on a PlayStation console. Xbox is a little different. Xbox does both. Nintendo good luck, Charlie Brown. That's not happening. But what happens with the Steam Deck, and what will potentially happen with the Steam Deck is that if you think you have a backlog problem now, if you get that, you're gonna go out of your way to want to buy again the Steam sales. I've never really taken advantage because I never had a powerful PC, so it would mean nothing to me. But I will tell you that if you are in the realm of buying one of these and you like playing games, and you can use it whether you're on the toilet, you can use it whether you're in the doctor's office, you're going to be playing, folks. See, that's the thing that's very interesting.
Yeah,
it's not like you're playing games that don't have the graphical prowess. This console is going to be able to support some of the biggest AAA games, and that is where it gets super interesting. A lot of bacon emojis in there.
Yeah, and Boom, like that. What's one of the things that we've heard our gaming community say about PC for years, right? I mean, obviously, PC elite people, they know what's up. They know how much they have to invest. They have the technical know-how to get, do the ins and outs. But one of the things you've heard a lot of us, console peasants, as they call us, whine about for years is that the entry level to PC, or sort of like the complexity of PC is one of the turnoffs. I think this is exactly where Steam can actually get millions of more fans and more subscribers, because now they sort of knock down the barrier wall a little bit, much like Xbox has done with game services through Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Real quick, Lord King David, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Yes, Noof, that's the real me.
I had to make sure, sometimes you get those frauds in the chat to try to pretend they're somebody they're not.
That's what I said. I said that about a week ago. I said, whoa, is that the real King David? I actually text him because we talk outside the show, and he's like, yes, Boom, that's me.
Yeah. But I come in, I just got in from work or whatever, and I'm checking, my YouTube, and I look and I see just Noof and Boom. And I said, what the hell is going on here?
It's just one of those days.
Yeah, it's not a breakfast with Boom without a bunch of people. So yes. I came running downstairs.
I love it.
Told the wife, bye. They're talking about erect bacon, and I gotta stop this.
This show went off the hinges for a little bit, but it's back on it's back on the track. As a matter of fact, Kay Asante is going to be joining us in about 10 minutes. Nice. He's showing up a meeting, so we're actually going to have a full show. Of course, I'm wearing my Pong shirt, the classic OG. King, what we're talking about is what happened yesterday. Now, I don't know where your feelings are of the Fake Switch Pro. I pre-ordered it.
Okay, so how I feel about that, I won't buy that. You have to teach them a lesson, but Nintendo won't learn a lesson because it's going to sell like hotcakes, regardless of what. It's going to sell ridiculously. And the fact that right now the Switch resale price, it's really high. So I think you're getting what for $225 or
$225 I would get for my Switch. So I'm only gonna be paying $1 and change, which isn't bad.
You see, so you equate it to as a rental price. Okay, like a used car. I got I'm getting good value back for my used car, and I'm getting a newer model. So that's how you see it, and that's how you keep your value, your stock high. Mm-hmm. Some other people may see it as, well, I don't have that $1.25 to spend right now, or $1 and some change to spend right now, and I don't want to wait that period of time. See, for me right now, Skyward Sword came out today, so
I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver it. They may ring the buzzer. I am amped to play that game because I already
did my digital.
You did,
but no, and I'm buying physical. That's my favorite Zelda game.
I know. So, people try to tell you that it's not the best Zelda game, and you explain to them that they're wrong. And look, here's the thing: I skipped that Zelda. For me, it's like I know people are like, oh my god, it's just another HD port. Here's the thing: it's new for me because I skipped it because I didn't want to start swinging my sword around. What I'm saying? I didn't want to do that. I didn't really like the nunchuck combination, and this gives us right from jump controls Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm all in. So for me, it's a new Zelda. For you, you're revisiting one of your favorite Zeldas of all time.
With a little bit of hopes of some extra stuff for it, because I know how Nintendo likes to throw a little special something in there for people. You know, and as far as me tracking down an amiibo, that's happening. It's actually happening, and it should be happening today. But so I can't get rid of my Switch right now, even if I wanted to, because I have Zelda. I have something to actually occupy that space where normally I wouldn't have that space there. So yeah, that's a no-go for me. But this premium Steam handheld portable.
Yeah, now we're
Wow.
talking. Now listen, listen. This is what I'm glad you transitioned into that, because that's really what we were talking about. I said I thought it was a total diss that they did that the same day that the Fake Pro came out. But listen, there are 3 editions. They range in price. Now you are being a very premium man,
Yes.
like myself. We know what we're getting.
650.
The 651 is being reserved, and I'm not concerned about that.
Right.
What this does for me, and we were just talking about it before you jumped on. My biggest problem with xCloud is I don't have the ability to prop up, because I have a really nice 14-inch tablet, and the controller would work great. But where am I going to play that? If I'm going to sit down and play that, I'm going to play it on my you know, the money I spent on the TV.
Right.
For something on the go, my biggest problem is something like, and it's supposed to be premium, like the Razer Kishi.
Right.
It doesn't fit well in my hands.
Right.
And I don't like using my phone, because what if I got a call? I have to then pull things off. And so I was always hoping Microsoft would team up with someone to bring us an actual physical device that is exclusive for a handheld. And even though they didn't team up per se with Valve released their own. This is what we've been asking for. New said that this is the kind of power Switch fans have been asking for. What are your are you excited for this?
I'm over the moon for this. I'm over the moon for a lot of reasons about this machine. All right, so first and foremost, I know a lot of people is going to say price wise it's out of their budget. Okay, good.
I get that.
Then it's not for you, right?
Gaming is expensive, but this is one of those quote unquote king statements. Premium
experience
device. Yeah, it's a premium experience. That's a fantastic way to put it.
This is going to take your handhelding to a next level, right? And let me give you the reasons why it's going to take it to the next level. First, to the best of my knowledge, this is the first video game handheld that has an SSD.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So that's to the best of my knowledge, right? So now that we have the SSD in place, and you have the analogs in place, and you have a nice size screen in place, and you have the nice storage in place, it allows you to remove the operating system that's on there and implement another operating system on top. So meaning that means you can still run Steam, but then you can also run Microsoft. Now, in doing so, that means you can put Game Pass on there. And then all those perks that you have with your Game Pass, you have that right there. So all those PlayStation exclusive games that's going to the PC, that's PC exclusive, PlayStation exclusive / well, not exclusive no more, but you can actually play those games on the go now, and you can have all your wonderful worlds all in one. Grab one machine and just get out the door.
It's absolutely incredible, and I'm glad you bring that up, because I didn't even think that far out. See, this is why we have to have King on the show, because you go a step further. See, I personally was going to use it for Xbox Game Pass, because that is where I play the most. But now that you say that out loud, Sony is going to get a piece of this, because now Sony potentially is going to get some of my money for some of these games that I'm going to play on this handheld that are some of my favorite PlayStation games.
Did you ever purchase the Steam machine?
I never did. No.
Okay, so I was 5 seconds away from purchasing the Steam machines right before they bottom out, because I love the controller. If you ever got a chance to play with the controller, if any of you mouse and keyboard dudes out there ever get a chance to touch that controller, you would see the real transition from mouse to keyboard in a handheld controller. and it's the one-on-one is so amazing. You can actually do your sniping, you can do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. It felt really good, so I was really keen on getting it because I love how the controller felt, and then they flopped.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
with this, I don't have that fear because, again, one, it's a portable. Two, it's as powerful as the Xbox Series S. This is little man on the go.
Yes.
Right? And I don't have those issues no more because this is what I wanted the Switch Pro to be, as powerful as little man on the go. And they choose not to do this. So the only way us as gamers can actually show Nintendo is to make this console, this handheld, a success.
Yes, I agree.
We have to push it past, because us early opters is the ones that actually move the needle. So when your friend looks over and he sees, hey, boom, what's that? Oh, hey, Noof, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm playing my Steam device. What's a Steam device? And then you go into the spiel. That transfers over, and it transfers over, and once it transfers over to enough people and enough mind share, collectively moves over to that space, and then the bigger guys start supporting Steam in that manner. You don't know. This might actually precipitate Microsoft to partnering with Steam in such a manner that it does become the de facto box for the Xbox Game Pass. You never know. Stuff like that can happen.
I was going to ask you guys, do you think now this really puts some pressure in Nintendo's court perhaps to bundle up with Microsoft? This could be the thing that they look at and say, you know what?
I think you're onto something.
Should partner with Microsoft and get Game Pass on here because, the relevancy of the Switch just dropped tenfold all of a sudden. I mean, what should have been a lot of hype for the Nintendo OLED is now hype for the Steam the Steam console, you know what I mean? So I think now this, Nintendo might not take it seriously yet, but wait till the sales numbers start to switch and the direction people go, and all of a sudden the Switch becomes that little irrelevant little thing that sits in the back of your closet gathering dust, and it's no longer, part of the conversations. I definitely think now this puts a little bit more pressure on them to say, you know what, Game Pass might be a great fit for the Nintendo Switch to sort of kind of go toe to toe a little bit, shall we say, with this new competitor.
Well, to expound on your statement, I feel that the winners in this is the gamers, right? Completely at all costs.
100%.
Because financially, if you cannot make that threshold, you cannot pass the lower bar threshold of the Steam console, then you can get yourself a Switch, right? If you're also already in the Switch ecosystem, then you don't really have to upgrade if you don't see anything significant in the OLED or you don't see anything that you want right now from that Steam. But it forces competition. And then it gets us gamers that actually was disappointed. And this is where marketing and capitalizing on somebody's missteps actually opens the door for a new competitor. I've always told people, a vacuum will always be filled. This is the nature of life. Nothing is static. So a vacuum will always be filled. And we had a vacuum with the PSP. We had the vacuum with the Vita. And we sat there and we waited and we thought it would be the NVIDIA Shield, and NVIDIA tried very hard. And now this might be what fits that void of that premium console. That's a handheld that we've been clamoring for, that Nintendo didn't provide. So this might be that gateway into our dreams per se.
I agree. I think everyone is onto something. First of all, let's welcome in Kay Asante.
Good morning, fellas.
Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, real quick, I know this. We have somebody else in on the panel. King Day 1376, dude. The phone does not work with the software well. I'm so sorry, brother. If regular standard PC cameras got to be used otherwise, because I tried to get you in and you got kicked immediately because it's botting bad. So I definitely apologize. I can't bring you in because the software is not going to allow it. The phone is just not going to work. So I appreciate you trying to join us, but definitely the next time, just let me know and hit me up in the DM and let me. And once you get your PC set up, and we'll bring you back in. But Kay Asante, thanks so much for joining us, brother. Again, this was kind of one of those episodes where almost the entire panel is not here, and for different reasons, obviously. And to kind of update everybody on Dreadpool, he the only thing that from the accident got damaged was his ladder rack, so he's good. He's okay. He got into a little bit of a fender bender, so he's okay. Crispy would have joined us. He got called in for work, and Big Cloud said he was going to be here, and maybe something came up. And obviously, Joe, Mr. Bearbit, has left the show because of work. So it's one of those weird episodes that we will, it's
I'm sneaking away from work just to join you guys.
Well, I definitely appreciate that very much.
And I saw the bat signal came up, and like, black man, I am here. Black man.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. But listen, Kay Asante, we're on the subject of the Steam Deck. And
I'm right on time, man.
Dude, you're absolutely right on time, because King's excited, Noof's excited, I'm excited. It appears that we are going to get something very special. This is obviously one of those devices that everyone in the community has been calling for in one way or another. Like, I love my Switch. No one's ever going to tell me that the Switch is a useless device because it only plays games in 720p and Nintendo IPs. I'm an old school cat, folks. This is why I love Nintendo, which I have 300 amiibos, which I just bought 3 more yesterday because I'm a huge fan of the brand. So Nintendo is like, for instance, the fake HD, the fake Pro, which I bought, which I pre-ordered yesterday, is something for me because I'm a Nintendo fan. Yes, am I a part of the problem? Sure, but at the end of the day, it's why I love Nintendo. Now we move over to the Steam Deck. Now this is a device. This is a device that I have to hold on a sec. Okay, first of all, this is a device that is going to appeal to a wide range of gamers, right? Now, the price is going to keep people away to some extent, simply because obviously it's out of some people's wheelhouse. But you know what? Actually, before we get to Kay Asante, our other brother came, a middle-aged gamer guy. Welcome back, dude! I can't believe you're here. This is turning into a party. It went from Erect Bacon to 3 of the biggest powerhouses in game talk, and that's Kay Asante, Lord King David, and middle-aged gamer guy. And Kay Asante, to continue the conversation, where is your excitement level on this? How will you be utilizing the Steam Deck?
I apologize. I'll begin by apologizing because I'm about to completely geek out on y'all. I'm sorry. This is
this is what we love.
This is where I live. Do I need it? Hell no. But I literally have had Steam open since the day I saw it. I'm ready to click. Ready. And I'm not buying the small one. For pro tip, if you're gonna get one, 256 or 512. Don't go 64 because you will regret it later.
You will. You can expand the storage.
Yes, I will. Yeah. But you can expand the storage, but it's kind of like Xbox storage, or I guess I should say PlayStation storage at this point. What you get is what you get. Even the SD cards will not be as fast as what's in there, except the 64 gig version, which is basically an SD card itself. It's basically embedded storage. So if you want that NVMe faster storage, that's 256 or 512. Why am I excited for this thing? Because as Asa said, and I've said his name twice now on your shows, because the man seems to have good points. It is the Switch for adults. It's the Switch for grown-ups. I love my Switch. I have it over there. My kids play it. I play it. I enjoy it. I'm going to continue to enjoy it. This device has the potential to bridge a huge gap that a lot of geeks like me have been looking for a long time.
Yes.
And I look at it both from the gaming aspect and from other aspects. You can run a whole podcast from this thing. It's a freaking PC, my friend. It's a 16 gig PC with a Zen 2 chip. You can run a whole piece. Like, this whole thing can be done from that stupid little thing in your hand. That's amazing. Like, when I saw
the prices, I hate to say this, King David's face popped in there, and I said, "Okay, I know what King is going for. He's going for the premium 649."
Yep.
For me,
But you have to. You have to.
Now again,
It
folks,
doesn't make any sense to play the middle ground in this one.
Mhm.
no,
And it
zero.
doesn't make any sense to play in the bushes. So
The way, you know,
it's the fact that it's okay. It's all or
Well,
nothing.
it's the SSD.
Yeah.
I think that is a big deal. I think that is the contributing factor here, folks, because you're getting an SSD in a portable. I don't know if that's, like King said, I can't say, listen, I don't know if that's ever been done before.
I don't. I didn't have it in my Shield, any of my NVIDIA Shields. It damn sure wasn't in my PSP. It wasn't in my Vita, and it's not in any of my Nintendo machines. So, I think that is the biggest deciding factor going forward, because what it tries to do and what it's doing is it's mimicking our current gen consoles.
Pretty much, yes.
Right? So our current gen consoles standard, the biggest difference from the last gen, regardless to anything that you want to look at, that is completely different, because there's chips and there's a GPU inside all our last gen consoles. The biggest difference from this gen and last gen is the SSD. Now, we wasn't privy to having that type of technology in our consoles. Now we are. PC has been living in this space for a long time. They waited for us to catch up, because I think we kind of moved the needle. We want to feel like that, even though PC is probably the leader. But again, we pushed the needle. So now that we have SSD involved into this whole situation, to have that handheld mimic what current generations is, and we got to stop saying next generation, because we're in the current generation, right? So current generation right now, where we at right now, SSD is the most important thing, and this thing stepped up to the plate and hit a home run. It didn't play any games with anything, not with power, and not with price, because price point for what you're getting is outstanding.
Because a quick side note, I have two quick side notes for you. One side note to your power talk, it is pixel for pixel a little bit more powerful than the Series X, because all you have to render is a 720p image.
Yes,
and at 720p, it's more than that. I think it's 800, so it's a 16:10 aspect ratio. But at that size, all the hardware they're throwing at it at that size will generate render that looks as good as the Series X, because that's all it needs to. Okay, that's one thing. And another thing, the reason why you shouldn't buy the 64 gig. Let's say you want to play Halo MCC, right? You can buy that on Steam. That is 87 gigs. You can't play that on the Steam box. You know what I'm saying? So it's 256 or 64. Not to mention that the speed of the 64 is really slow. So it's great at entry point, but like for somebody like me, I'll tell you what I'm using this for. This is going to be my ultimate emulation machine. When I am done with this thing, it'll play from Coleco to PS3 and everything in between. That's what I'm doing with this device.
Well, I will definitely need your nerdiness to help me with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm so excited to play with this thing.
Well, you know, again, this is the point of getting into this particular part of PC, right? This is what PC offers. Now, I'm not a PC guy. No, if you wanted to say something, brother.
I was just gonna say, like, how about AMD hitting home run after home run? Like, the deal with PlayStation, deal with Xbox, and now deal with Steam proprietary cards to this thing, or the chipsets or whatever. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Nvidia's over there going, well, we got his Nintendo. What are we going to do about this?
Well, Nvidia might be in a little bit of a pickle, to be honest with you. They need to expand a little bit. But middle-aged gamer guy, listen, sir. You are a master chef. So I don't know how, while cooking, you're going to be able to use this device. But I know that in your day, when you're doing the paperwork, or supposedly doing that paperwork in the office, will you be buying this? Does this particular device check all the boxes for you as a gamer?
Okay, it checks all the boxes. First of all, I just want to say I'm on a show with King David right now. This is the man, okay? I have been dying to get on a show with for I don't know how long now, but it has finally happened.
Worthy.
I saw that little face. I saw the little face on the screen. I go, oh my God, he's there. I even ran upstairs and told my wife, I'm like, honey, King David's on the show. Anyway, besides all that, let's get into let's get into this topic here. I'm a little conflicted.
Right.
And the reason why I'm a little conflicted, excuse me, the reason why I'm a little conflicted is this. I talked about it this morning with a couple of guys in the chat there in our PTG crew conversation, and I did say this. This is essentially a not need item on my list. It is a luxury item.
Yes.
Now,
it's a premium.
It's a premium item that I do not necessarily need. I have multiple large screens in my home. That's where I do 100% of my gaming. I obviously do not travel. I don't travel for work, not very far anyway, just a couple minutes. The other thing is that it's a bit of a problem is that the price point. Now, I know in the United States, it's actually not that bad, but I just pulled up here the Canadian price points. And now here's the thing. I get it that the United States, as it stands, is one of the largest consumer bases in the entire world in terms of purchasing product. Okay? Nobody buys like the US buys when it comes to product. Right. However, the United States is not the only country in the world. And as it stands, we're looking at what we're looking at here. And here I see the three price points are $600, $800, and $1,000.
Jeez.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you why that is though. If you check spec for spec, you will find PCs, laptop PCs that are exactly the same price, because that's what this thing is. It's a laptop PC jumbled into a cute little gaming device. So they're kind of comparing specs there. It's okay, but
you see what I'm getting at here? You're talking 600, 800, 1,000. This is not a good entry point for anybody that is, unless you're absolutely hardcore and you're absolutely adamant on purchasing this or getting into this ecosystem. That's a hell of a walking in point, even at $600. At $600, I could buy a Series X. I could buy a PlayStation 5 in the home. Okay. Right. Whereas something that I'm not going to be using as a portable, because when I'm in my home, I'm going to be using what I've got right over there.
Yes.
Right. And I've got them in multiple rooms of the house. So to me, it doesn't seem to make much sense. Like, for example, I got the kids a Switch Lite. It was a couple $100. Okay. I got my daughter one the other day. So now, by the way, I have two Switches. Okay. So, but they were $200 each one. Right. And that's $400 for two kids happy. This would be $600 for just me to use. And that's for the base one, which the base one, as I see by the specs, does not make any sense for me. I would have to go for the mid-range or the high end.
Yes,
yeah, right. Absolutely. And so now you're talking 800 with 1,000. And you know what this is starting to sound like? It's starting to sound a lot like the Neo Geo handheld back in the 90s. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
There is
that
a key
thing was like
difference,
$1,000. And then
the key difference with that though is the fact that this thing, you're absolutely right, 100% right in all of your assertions, 100%. I think that you cue into some interesting point. They may need to remarket this a little differently. It cannot be, this is the Switch competitor or even a console, because as a console, it's a bit too premium for that, right?
Yes.
This thing is a multi-function device. You can hand this to a child and they won't need a computer until they turn like 21 or something. It runs
$1,000. I ain't handing this to no child.
Well, I'm talking like I would talk the mid-tier. I would talk the mid-tier. You know, the 600, the 700. You buy a PC for your child and something they can use. If you set this thing down with a dock, you have a monitor set up. It goes up to 4K, 120 hertz. If you have good monitor set up.
Sante, see that you brought that up. That's actually a really good point, because if you think about it, if they market it differently for a different, for possibly a different crowd other than the handheld crowd, because the way I see this right now, the way it's come across to me, the way that's being portrayed is that this is a handheld gaming device.
Well,
and I don't think that that's fair, because you're absolutely right. I think that the specs show that it actually is far more capable.
I don't think that assessment is true for the simple fact is they capitalized on a misstep. They heard
you're on something with that. King, I asked you a question when you first jumped on, and I'd like you to reiterate it because I see the path you're going down. This was specifically done because of what you're just about to say.
Right.
The misstep of Nintendo not bringing the Pro. This is why I said it. I said, why did they wait for just this random Thursday to say, by the way?
I don't think they were thinking about doing it this week, right? They got the information, because remember, Nintendo, when they launched that Switch Pro information, that was random, right? But I always tell people what some people think and view as random, I already look at how trends go. On a Friday is when you have real bad news. On a Thursday, it's when you're lukewarm with your messaging and your thoughts and your feel with it. So if it turns out bad, the weekend will wash it away. Yeah. Right. So Nintendo put it out on a Thursday because they knew what they did was kind of grimy. Yeah. But this is Nintendo, and the weekend will wash it away. It had
Do
enough.
you guys really think that the Nintendo audience, the main Nintendo audience, will see this and go, "Now I'm buying this instead
No,
of the
no,
Nintendo Switch"?
No, they won't.
that's
I didn't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not. Nintendo's not looking for that, right? What Nintendo knows is they already have you in pocket. Period.
True.
What happened was a misstep, and like middle-aged gamers said, like you really have to look at when marketing. You have to strike when the iron's hot. They saw the space. Cue this up. Can you get this up running? How fast can you get this up and running? How fast can you get this out the door? Because we have what they're looking for, right?
They don't even have anything solid hardware yet.
Right.
They just had it and they were like, "Oh, we found our opportunity. Let's jump in." We even have prototype, but it still works. Let's go.
Yes,
let's just
go
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
absolutely right.
So
You're right.
we
Good
can
point.
garner enough interest right here because it's enough furor right now. There's enough because when stuff hits Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that, and it starts to go viral, it starts to hit that fever pitch, you can actually make bucks out of this
Dude,
thing.
this is going to sell like nobody's business. Look, I have specifically I took a deep breath. I'm like, oh my God, 10 o'clock. What I got a show. So I don't like the multitask, but it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got the link open here. I got the link on my phone. I got the link on I'm not messing around. Like I'm going for the gold, and only $5 down, folks.
And they did a good job with trying to stop scalpers. If you're a scalper
that is actually
who have
a really
an
good
account
point,
and you're like, "Oh, I'm about to go in there and get it," if you haven't been using your account for a while, you're not even going to get the access to reserve until 48 hours from now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they got that on lock, which is good.
Can I ask a quick question for everybody? I got this gut feeling that a lot of the hype of this right now. Now, I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer, okay? I'm just
No, please
need
speak
that.
on it.
I'm just putting this out there.
Mhm.
You know, when something gets announced and they show it and everybody gets excited and you're like, oh my goodness, look at this situation, look at what they got here. You get hyped for the news. It's almost like watching a trailer for a film, right? You get hyped for the trailer. You're like, I could watch 2 hours of just trailers, okay? Because they just make you hype. When it finally comes down to put the money down, do you think people are going to bite? Or do you think it is just that everybody's just excited because there's a new product out on the market there or going to be out on the market? And then all of a sudden, when it actually comes down to the nitty gritty and you got to reach in that wallet, and for a person like me has to reach in and dish out $800 for the mid-range.
Yeah.
Are people actually going to bite, or are they all just kind of just fluffing it up online right now because they're super excited?
Yep.
8 minutes
I agree
ago,
with you.
Mr. Phil Spencer, he's looking at the article about this, and he says, that looks really great. Congrats to the team at Valve Software on getting so many of us excited to be able to take our games with us wherever we decide to play. Interesting.
And I got a feeling
Game Pass.
that there's
Pass.
going to be something Game Pass related with this. See, he's
been wearing Steam shirts, man.
Dude, he's been wearing
yeah.
Steam shirts.
They've been communicating with Gabe all the time. There's always conversations. Oh, which console's better? The Xbox, of course.
There's too much stuff going on there.
There is something very suspicious behind the scenes. I'm going to say this. I don't want to turn this into a Phil Spencer conversation, but I have to say this. And King, I don't know if you agree with me. The one thing about Phil Spencer in the last couple of let's just say 14 days.
Yeah.
The guy has done more interviews than he's potentially done in 2020. That's not E3, right? 2021, that's not E3. He is walking around. He's strutting his stuff like the high school jock that knows he's got it, right? I think something big is coming. But listen, before we travel down,
he's strutting like that because you saw the sales of the X and S. Anyway, you can strut like that when you know what you know. Anyway, to your point, if they're going to put that money down. I got people that haven't bought a PlayStation 5 yet that were clamoring for a PlayStation 5.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
I have people that were clamoring for Xbox Series X and S, and they don't have one yet. And not for the simple fact that, they didn't have the funds. They had the funds. They just didn't have the gumption to pull the trigger when it was time. You're going to have those flip-floppers. You're going to have those dudes that's going to stand on the side and, I'm good with this, right? What I have right now. What the opportunity presents itself for the company is they have to force that person's hand. You see, that they have to see the value in doing so. Now, you have certain guys like us that are men of our convictions that see what we want. We work hard for it, and we go get it. But you have certain people that have to be convinced beyond convinced, and that's cool. Because those people, when they do jump in, they are all the way in. They're not in halfway, they in 100%, because that $1,000 or that $600, whatever price that they did spend, they're gonna make sure that they get every iota out of it. And they're just, they have to be sure. I have a lot of friends that need to be sure. So just like you said, the Neo Geo handheld, I got it. I got the Neo Geo Gold.
So do I.
Yeah, I got it, but I actually use it. And it was actually a good, nice little emulation thing. It was cute, but this thing is a monster within itself.
Yeah.
Like, I still have the most powerful handheld available, the NVIDIA Shield. And
as do I. Yes. And that thing is still a gift that keeps giving.
You
Even
know
since
what that
2015.
thing
It's
does,
amazing, that thing.
right?
Yeah, and
Oh
being
my
able to
God,
hook
that
this
thing's
thing up to
amazing.
your television, that's also the big win part as well, right?
Yes. But this thing is going to destroy it.
All of it. Yep.
Yeah.
In one fell swoop. And I was waiting for something to come out in a form factor kind of akin to what I'm used to do so, because I didn't want to, because we had the clamshell one. I got all the NVIDIA Shields. Got the clamshell one, we got the standalone one. So now I got the one that feels like a handheld. And I'm
it's
going
big
to
enough in your
dive
hands for big men like us.
Thank you, because that little baby stuff was
real quick, I just want to catch up with some of the super chats before we continue this. First of all, I want to thank and of course say sorry to Jesse Darby. Now, he had reached out, say, boom, I'm ready to jump in. He drops a $5 super chat, and he's a super supporter. Jesse, like I explained to you in the DM, I tried to get you, and I kept getting an error message. I think it was the connection. We will definitely bring you back at another time. Do not stress it. We'll bring you back for Breakfast with Boom, potentially even next week, once we can get you on the PC. But I appreciate you jumping in. Spooky Sprocket, another generous friend of the show. He drops not one, but two super chats. The first one is for $8, and he says, "Lurking Boom and Boom Boom Kaboom Noof, always supporting. Hope you guys hope you have a great show, fellas. Much love." Well, thank you, brother. Definitely appreciate that. And he drops a second one for $6, and he says, "The one and only King." The one and only King salute. Then thank you for that. Eric the Red, another generous friend of the show, he drops a $5 super chat and says, "Is there a possibility the Steam Deck will pull people from the Nintendo/Sony/Microsoft ecosystem? And if so, who should be worried the most?" Well, here is the interesting point with that. Nintendo should be the one that's concerned the most. Not so much with Microsoft, because again, they have embraced releasing for Xbox Game Pass both on PC and on console. So if you are an Ultimate subscriber, you're going to be able to take advantage of that. Sony, with whatever games, like for instance, this is a game. This is a handheld console that will probably run Horizon Zero Dawn if you want to give Sony more money. Maybe you have a game that you want to play again on the go. This is going to give you those Sony games as well. So it's very interesting there. I think the one that be concerned here is Nintendo, because they're looking like the fourth place person, not even on the podium, because yes, the OLED sold out. Yes, I pre-ordered the OLED. A lot of people did. And are we knuckleheads? Potentially. But we're Nintendo fans.
This is a niche item.
It is a very niche item.
All right. So this is like somebody asking, is Ferrari gonna infringe on Ford's demographic? Not gonna happen. And to equate Nintendo with Ford, you're like, King, you're crazy. I want you to just listen for a second. Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony markets to the masses.
Yes.
And they market in price ranges that are in line with what we're used to. This is a little bit outside of the norm.
Yeah.
All right. So when you go to car manufacturers, outside of the norm is those exotic cars or those highline cars. And that's just not marketed to everyone. And it shouldn't be. All right, because this is a premium device that needs premium care with a premium touch.
Yes,
Tesla Model X.
This is definitely this, right?
But to answer Mag's question, it's good. This is what they're doing, and that's what Valve always does, right?
Yes.
The index, I have that over there. They needed morons like me to pay $1,000 for the index so that the technology can get lower, so that eventually you get a Quest 2, which is free for the masses. Gabe actually said it in the interview during this whole Q&A of all this stuff. You know, what's the future of it? Well, we're seeing how people like it. We're seeing how we're ready to not only manufacture different versions of this, but also hand the specs to other manufacturers to continue making their versions of this.
Yes.
This version 1 is not meant for you, Mag.
Yeah.
If that's where you are in your mindset, you're absolutely right.
I'm
this
just
version
it
is
out there
not meant
because
for you.
you know, by the second or third week of December, I'm going to be showing it because you know I'm going to get it. Okay, so let's face facts here, right? You know, I'm going to get it.
But your point is still very valid. Very valid.
I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about anybody
the common
on this
man
channel
who's there using it for the purpose of gaming, and you know the price point is exactly like King said. This is a premium tier product that's opening space for future, because once this becomes successful from geeks like me who'll go, ooh, this is great, eventually they'll bring it more cost effective. The technology will be more streamlined. The what do you call it? Their pipeline will be more streamlined. So then you'll see the costs even come down, because hey, this is now considered not just a niche product that only the geeky guys will want. We can now, you know, really focus in on it. And for geeks like me, this thing is so open that it's unlike any other device out there, except for those who build full PCs. You can do whatever the hell you want with this thing. You can dual boot Linux and Windows with this thing, right? That's not going to be for everybody. Who's going to want to go dual boot? I'm going to do that. I'm going to plug into my USB-C and I'm going to be for hours. But for the masses, probably version 2, version 3, when it all comes to like the 3s and the 200s and everything is streamlined and there's many different flavors that even kids can use. This is just hey, let's throw this out there like the Valve Index and see how many people think that this is great from a high-end perspective.
So
that's what this looks like.
So you're going to have to hope for a solid early adoption rate.
Yes,
right. So you're going to have to have some kind of a base that is going to be able to move this product forward to, you know, for sustainability, right? Because in the end, if you're going to invest X amount of dollars into something, you want sustainability. That's something that's going to last a year, 2 years, 3 years, however down the line.
The good thing about
that's, I guess, a risk of being an early adopter, right?
Well, the good thing about that part for someone like me is I see the tech, I see the open nature of it. This thing can be, Valve can go, you know what? This was a big mistake 2 years from now, and go, we'll never deal with this ever again. And guess what you have? A Zen 2 CPU with 16 gigs that you can use to build. You can use this for 10 years, and I'll never play a game with it.
The thing about this, it's not the same thing as the Steam machine. I know people will probably, you know, feel away. They made the Steam machine modular. That you were able to upgrade stuff, and when they stopped supporting that modular function of the machine,
it was very bespoke.
It became dead, right?
Yeah, this is standard stuff.
Yeah, this actually is like at least this generation proof. So you're gonna get at least 8 years worth of good work out of this machine, right? So let's say this generation itself. The games that are coming out this generation, you're gonna have ray tracing in this. When you really start to pick apart this little machine, it has ray tracing and all these hardware.
All the bells and whistles that you're finding on your Series
Fidelity
X, your
effects,
PlayStation 5.
You're gonna get that new feature that they just released, Fidelity effects, that everybody's like, oh, this is the DLSS. Yeah, that's coming to this thing too, because it's got the Zen 2 chip, just like it. DirectX Ultimate. All the Microsoft things that they added to this to potentially make it, next gen, come into this too, because it's got the same chip. This thing is really exciting.
Yeah. Look, like King said, this is one of those devices that it's specifically right now in its current price form. It's targeting a very specific niche audience, and they understand that. Everyone over here wants one. Right? Like, I'm not a tech guy. Like, I can't build my own PC. I'd have someone build it for me and just pay for it. But I don't have to do that with this. I'm literally going to plug and play. I'm going to pop a game in, and I'm going to, or download said game, and to my SSD because I'm getting or attempting to get the 649 model. I'm not going cheap on this. If I'm going in, I'm going all the way in.
Did you hear there was a dock supposed to be made for this too?
Yeah, it is a dock.
Yes.
It's sold
Yeah.
separately. They did not say the
You
price.
don't even need to use their dock. You can
Yeah,
just
you
use
don't.
any
Yeah.
USB-C dock. It's amazing.
That is crazy. That's
Right?
crazy.
Imagine Nintendo going, yeah, we released this thing. Here's our dock, but you can just use a dock you want. Yeah, right.
This is the open nature. First of all, welcome, BitCloud. How you feeling, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry, I had my appointment. It went a little longer than expected.
Listen, you're here. Listen, you're here now. We got a full panel. Remember, this, folks. If you're just tuning in, this podcast started out with myself, Noof Nukem. And Arnold is on the way in. I'm flying him in through the chopper. It's going to cost me a little bit more today, but we'll get him momentarily. And it started out with talking about erect bacon, and now we're back to talking about games because we have a crew of gamers.
Listen to that erect bacon talk.
Yeah,
what
you did.
What is that about?
Man, that's a whole pause moment of the
Dear
show.
Lord, what did I miss?
I was not a part of the pause moment. I was coming and saving them from the pause moment.
Yeah, he did. He definitely saved the show for sure.
Are you
and in my defense, it wasn't even a topic that Noof Nukem started.
There you go. Yeah, we got into talking about the way it started is I don't like floppy bacon. I think that's gross. That's just me.
Hey guys, if y'all want to know anything about that stuff, it's in the earlier part of the show.
Yeah, I'll have to rewind and watch that later.
Absolutely. But, what I want to do is like this. We've been on the topic for an hour. I didn't anticipate this being such a big topic. I thought it was going to be a subsect topic because I did not know. I mean, even the chat, there are a lot of people really excited for this, and I think Noof really hit it on the head. I think everyone has really knocked it out of the park. This is
give like
I'm gonna get this is the device that I think all of us as gamers have been asking for because Kay Asante said something very interesting. He is going to make this a kind of a system that not only plays the newest and greatest AAA games, he's potentially going to be able to unlock the ability to play ColecoVision or something else like that. And that is
all the way to PS3.
Let me ask you a question. Are we able to put external SSD or external hard drive to this machine?
This is a PC. It's fine. PC. Plug in whatever you would plug into a PC.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
And what's interesting is that
higher grade model has the everything else built in that's in the PS5 and Series X, which is the internal SSD. So you have everything, the bells and whistles.
Although even the internal is a little slower, but still, it's a PC. So you can plug in a USB-C. You can plug in a USB-C hard drive and have access to the whole deal. You can run a different operating system from the USB key if you wanted to.
This it also has an expandable port, some micro SD. Now some of them can get really big. You know what I'm saying?
This is a full-fledged PC in a teeny tiny switch case.
This is. You know, it's funny though. Like it's crazy that this has come. This is kind of poetic in a weird way because dudes was damage on the internet saying, "Oh, it's impossible for us to get power like this on a Switch," and here comes Valve out of left field with this beast of a handheld.
That's what I was explaining. Mm-hmm. It was a huge misstep on Nintendo's parts, and they underestimated the want for a real powerful Switch. You had guys that walked past the PlayStation 5, that walked past the Xbox Series S and the X, and they told you in your face, the Switch Pro is gonna have 4K, baby. It's gonna be 60 frames per second.
Anyone that said the DLSS was coming to a Switch Pro doesn't know what DLSS is and how it works.
But they
add it was an existing thing
for that. And ridiculous.
And
when you got the OLED wide back, it was just,
and that new OLED has the same chip in it as our NVIDIA Shield from 2015.
Wait, time out. It has a custom chip.
It is a custom. It's custom built.
It's a custom chip.
Is it not a Tegra X1?
Let me explain how it's custom. Nintendo throttles it.
Yes, they do, because the Shield gets to have the full thing because it's plugged into the wall. Yes, they do throttle it. They always have. You're right. Yes.
So they throttle it.
So it's even less than the Shield.
Thank you.
I just find it funny. I just find it for crazy though. For $50 more, just $50, you're getting everything that we're listening to and everybody's excited for. It's like Nintendo. What was the point?
Well, you know what? Let's get your opinion on this, BitCloud, and then we're going to move on to the big topic, which is the thumbnail, and that is the Bloober Team. Now we only have Kay Asante till about 11:30 because he's got to go for a meeting, so we'll get him first.
All right,
BitCloud, for you, is this a buy? Are you getting it? Because I know you're a PC dude. You built your own PC, which is awesome. You got the skills. This comes just out of the box. It's going to work. It's going to work like your PC. Are you a day one buyer with this?
All right, so the only thing I'm not too fond of is the button layout for the thing. Like a lot of the buttons are way up top. Like for the analog. That's the only thing I'm not a fan of. But honestly, I would actually buy this on some real. The reason why, not only does this thing play all the games on Steam, right? This will work for all your Xbox games on your PC, all the PlayStation games that made its way to PC, but
King
also, listen to this though, and this is where King probably didn't say. A lot of these Nintendo games you can emulate.
Yes,
have
we can.
on here. And this thing supports that. You have all the bells and whistles with the dock also that you can buy and plug this in there and pair it with your PC. So it's like Nintendo, a golden opportunity to really wow us has been right here all along. You didn't even bother to upgrade your hardware. In my honest opinion, this should be a wake-up call to every Nintendo fan that it's okay to demand better. You know what I mean? Demanding better is not necessarily slandering the brand. I've said this before. Just speak your mind, ask what you want. Thing is, people go, Nintendo is this, that, and the third. They don't need this. I beg to differ because everybody on the Nintendo camp, the hardcore has been asking for power. If you have a Switch, you're not going to buy the Switch OLED. That's what this. That's just. So,
but one caveat in the mix, though. One little bit. You technically can't play every game on Steam because out the box, this thing runs Steam OS, and Steam OS is a Linux variant, and they have it's kind of a bridge called Photon that makes Windows games run on Linux variants. Well, if you go to the Photon page, there are like grades of this works perfectly. This you have to tweak a bit. This doesn't work so well. A lot of them work, but it's kind of power user kind of stuff. You may have to tweak a bit unless you want to run Windows and then it'll all run native. But running it in Steam OS, you will do a bit of tweak. You may find that some of the old stuff won't run because Photon doesn't support it or something like that. That needs to be taken into consideration.
That's what it is. Yeah, Windows 11. But more than likely they're going to tweak that and upgrade that over time. They can
over time, exactly.
To fix that. That's going to take a little bit of time, as we go, because this obviously is not launching. We haven't got it yet, but that's going to happen. But what was I about to say about this thing? Jesus, I'm so wild about this, but
listen, I everybody's kind of a little bit bonkers on certain things. Like I said before, this is your Ferrari. Nintendo will come out. Ford will announce the new upgraded Ford F-150, and that will be your Switch Pro. Right after this OLED thing sells like hotcakes, because it will, and it will sell out, and you will see the regular sales for the regular Switch die out, and this will overtake that, and it will replace the regular Switch. And then you will get your Pro. You'll get your Pro probably by next year, right? So, and that will be something that you'll look at and be like, oh, the specs is really good. And the price range will still be below the price range of these machines.
Yeah, 100%.
So, don't look for it to compete with something that it can't compete with, because what it's giving you, it's not made to compete. It's made to outclass.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So when you take it out, and somebody that has a Switch looks over, it's the same equivalent to when I pull up next to somebody, and I look over, and he looks over at me. What shall be seen shall not be said, and what shall be known shall not be spoken.
Well, listen, King is the premium gamer. He's also the premium driver, obviously. Listen, all you got to do is go to E3 with this man and unlike me, steal his car and and drive that very nice. Was it a Camaro? Is that what it was?
No. That was a Corvette.
That was always the car. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even know what I stole. I just got it in mind.
See,
You don't know what you
and
stole.
listen, and you gotta have a badge, because if you ain't got a badge, I'm calling the cops on you. See, I couldn't call the cops on Boom.
But listen, folks. First of all, thank you for being here. We're hour and 15 minutes in. I got to be honest with you, this is probably one of my favorite Breakfast at Booms for the entire 2021 campaign, because it started out at a very low point. And again, I don't say low because obviously Noof jumped in. It's his birthday today.
Oh
And
man,
Hey.
happy birthday, Noof.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, buddy.
he turned. He levels up to 45.
45 years old and still too dumb to get Game Pass.
Listen, you know what, dude? You are who you are, and that's why we love you. But I want to kind of move this into the second topic. Now, for me personally, when you start talking about horror games, for me, right, what jumps off the page is Resident Evil. It's my favorite, series of all time. Resident Evil 2 is in the top 5 between 98 and the new one for for 2019. My favorites of all time. But when you talk horror, you have to start talking about Silent Hill. And what's interesting for this particular topic is Konami, who we know basically gave up on every franchise they have, has recently announced a partnership with Bloober Team. Now, if you're not familiar with Bloober Team, they have made a ton of really great scary games. Layers of Fear 1 and 2 come to mind right off the bat. Of course, you have you had Blair Witch, which came out for Xbox first. That was very well done. And that was a terrifying game, especially if you play with headphones. And of course, this year's release.
Frame rate needed fixing.
What's that?
That's what the frame rate needed fixing.
Yeah, the frame rate was so. And this year we got the medium, which was fantastic. Now, if you haven't played it and you like horror games, I definitely would give you the suggestion: try the medium. It's a very well done game, and there are some really, really scary parts.
Hey, Noof is in Game Pass.
And it's in Game Pass. That's right. Especially when that thing is chasing you.
Yeah.
But I want to bring it back to Silent Hill. Now, this is a franchise that saw some very highs, and towards the end of its life cycle, some extreme lows. The last game that we got, and I say we as a gaming community, was on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 way back, almost a decade ago in 2012. And that wasn't such a great game. Now, what's interesting and what has me goosebump induced excited is we're not getting one Silent Hill, folks. We are getting 2. Now, the second one has been pawned off, the IP, to a Japanese studio. Now, obviously, early thoughts is that it's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and that doesn't surprise me. It's not Silent Hills with Kojima. It's going to be another studio that's doing it. We don't know who that is. But this one that we're talking about is going to be done by Bloober Team. Now, Bloober Team CEO, all I know is his first name starts with a P, and Bambino is his last name. Commented on the deal specifically, and I don't want to butcher this poor man's name any further than I already have. He says this: "It's a historic day for me and the accumulation of several years of our work. The fact that such a renowned company as Konami has decided to strategically cooperate with Bloober Team means that we have also joined the world leaders in gaming and become an equal partner for the leading players in this market." Now, what's interesting by that statement, and that's very corporate, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If you would sit down with anybody that's not of power position in Bloober Team, they are ecstatic, because regardless of how you personally feel about Silent Hill, Bloober Team is, and I said it in the thumbnail, the masters of horror. That studio is specifically built for the horror genre. Now, yes, There are the Resident Evils, and there are a few other clones that are not really worth mentioning. I got a real strong feeling that this is going to be something special because now they have been given an IP that is renowned, that fell off the map for a lot of people. That, again, ask anyone, what's your favorite Silent Hill 1 and 2? What about the other ones? I didn't play them, most people will say.
Yeah.
Right? So, Kay Asante, I know you got to get out of here real quick. I want to get your opinion on this. Are you excited for a Bloober Team Silent Hill? But more importantly, because of the relationship that Bloober Team has specifically with Xbox, does this launch as an exclusive?
That's a very interesting question. That first part, the second part, does it launch as an exclusive? I don't know. I you would think that would be more a Konami like influenced decision, wouldn't it? Would it not? Since they are leveraging the IP, they're saying you can use this to make your thing. Wouldn't they also determine where it goes as well? That's the part where I will. They don't.
No,
it's a genuine question on my part. I'm not sure.
When you purchasing the license.
Did they purchase the license, or they're just being allowed to use it?
Okay, well, you have to pay for the license.
Yeah, they're paying for it.
Yes,
right.
So they pay for the license, then they get to go off and do it. The license holder obviously would have some stipulations.
Yeah,
but
you
they
can't
get to have their own lane,
like
right?
Nakedness and weirdo stuff like that.
Okay. With that in mind,
you don't get a chance to just run wild with Mario.
Understand? You got me giving visions now. Stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, with that in mind, I will say that.
Oh my God, you're wrong.
I'm trying to get the train back on the train.
Go ahead. Sorry.
With that in mind, I would say that honestly, in general, I played the first Silent Hill. I haven't played the others since then because of reviews and this and that. And generally, I'm a man baby when it comes to scary things. I tend to drift from it. I'll be first to admit it. But there are some exceptions, like Resident Evil Village. You'll see me playing that. You'll see me playing a few other things. What excites me here is not necessarily even Xbox's exclusivity or relationship or whatever. Bloober Team has been full of potential for so long. They go 15 steps in that direction, and the next one is like 2 steps back, and then they go. What's that game that they released like 3 times and they added ray tracing to it the last time? Oh my goodness! It had Rugger Howard in it.
Yes. Hold on a second.
Detective, Observer. The latest.
Yes.
I love that game, man. It is so cool. The latest version that had like all the ray traced and it is wow, epic. Like they have done it. But then and I also tried the medium, and I think I played like 60% of that game. I enjoyed what it was doing. I wanted it to hit hotter, and it just kind of didn't a little bit.
It's just under what I want.
On the cusp. Yeah. So it's just full of this potential. So for me, my priority here is to watch them really go for it, I'm sorry, say that again.
I said that game touched a lot of different things. Pause.
Yes, indeed.
It really touched a subject that I thought needed to be approached upon, and they didn't back away from it.
No, they went in on there was a lot of very adult
subject matter. Yes.
That you would have to be an adult to understand the ramifications of what story they were trying to tell.
And I think they told it in a manner that only Bloober Team could.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point, King.
Yeah, because it wasn't just your standard horror film. It was an actually insidious horror film.
It was
right. So in that take, I feel you. I understand exactly what you're saying. You really want them to have the financial backing to actually move forward and to hit the high notes that you were looking for. I actually get it. I felt that honestly, the tech was so new that they couldn't leverage the tool sets that they had.
We heard that afterwards.
To
got the tech a little
stuff
later or something like that. Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
Right now, this will be their second game with the tool sets.
Tools. Yes.
And hopefully they can achieve what you want them to achieve.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
I just want them to be successful because I can see such magic in them. They do some things and you're just like, yes. And then the next outing, maybe not so much. You know, they're right on the cusp. So for me, I just want them to swing for the fences, even if it ends up being an exclusive to Xbox or Play. Doesn't matter to me. Just swing for the fences.
It
You know,
matters to me.
fire on all cylinders and establish yourself. Excuse me.
I said it matters to me.
Well, yes. Well, we both have
It's
both of
exclusive
them, so
to
it should be fine.
PlayStation. They're gonna have to get $70 from me.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the whole
that's
exclusive to
Indeed.
Xbox.
That's
I'm
an
just hitting
actually.
the download button.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that's actually.
Yeah, I will say. Let me take that back. I hope it's not an exclusive. I hope it's everywhere because of the relationship, we know it'll be Game Pass worthy, and that's good enough for me.
Thank
But I got to go real quick, so I will
brother.
quickly.
Thank you so
I will
much for
quickly
jumping
say
in, dude.
thank you guys.
All right, Asante.
Thank you, Boom, for letting me jump in. I love jumping in during the day. I wish I could do it more, but you know, work owns me.
Real
for a
life,
little bit,
brother.
but
We totally
indeed,
get it. We definitely appreciate you jumping in. You saved you
Thank
saved
you.
us in a big way. Thank you.
Oh, please. You guys you're among kings in here. I was just happy to join, you know.
Please, brother.
Before I go, I'll say real quick, catch me on Twitter.
Yes.
The new _list TK0 Asante because the slanderer insists. And speaking of the slanderer, yesterday's show was the
Asante,
slander was
before
in
you
full
go,
effect,
you better
boy.
talk to your boy, okay? That Batman talk last night. I
I
died
really-
3 times
I
playing
really
the game
wanted
because
to
I
be
couldn't
there.
concentrate.
Yeah,
You better
you know,
talk to him about that.
I started it this morning, but obviously I'm going to finish it on the way when I pick up Mrs. Boom. But listen, dude, K.
Batman
Asante,
slander was horrible.
TKO, K. Asante. Thank you so much for being here, brother. We'll
Appreciate
definitely check you out. And yes, obviously, On the Reel is another show that he does, which of course, and then they do the Saturday podcast, which is gaming.
Indeed,
Which
yes. We do the gaming circle. This week we're probably going to do more PC talk because that's the word of the day, right?
Yes.
And
yes,
I'm thinking we might do some PC 101. You know, do throw some things out there. It should be fun. You know, so if you guys had a chance to watch, please do so. Otherwise, thank you guys so much. You'll see me again on prime time with Mr. Boomstick and friends. Huh?
Yes,
Peace.
yeah, certainly will. But thanks so much for jumping in, Noof. Let me
Gentlemen.
grab your opinion on this, Noof. Listen, you know, again, when I say exclusive, I'm not trying to make this into a console war thing, but I think it's safe to assume that the Japanese studio that has this, and again, this is, I have no grounds because we don't know who and where it's coming from. Is this going to be a multi-plat release? Has Sony stepped up? Because, you know, we know Sony wants, oh, look at this. Hey, Arnold, welcome to the program. I didn't know you were going to be
Oh
here.
my god,
Listen, Arnold.
bro! I actually
okay, so-
thought that was him for like a
So
millisecond.
Arnold, you know what? Obviously, Noof, you put Noof to bed. You're here. Let me rephrase the question to you. Has anyone from Bloober Team reached out to you to be the protagonist of the new Silent Hill game? Because I think they're missing the mark if they don't invite you to potentially reprise the role of, you know, big man for a scary game.
Of course, they're gonna put me on there. I'm gonna be like the big guy, you know, the big guy with the pinnacle head, and I'm gonna go around chasing people. That's what I'm gonna do there. I can't wait to be in the game. They're gonna reach out to me and give me the contract. I need it now. Let's go. Let's do it. Put me in the game. I will be the best villain that you're ever going to get in there. I'm just going to chase them around like I did in 1984 and the Terminator, and I'm going to get them. And there's going to be lots of fog and lots of steam, and Bloober's going to do a great job. They will put me in there. I will look awesome. If nothing else, I will be a decrepit old man in my wheelchair, and I will chase them with my stick. I'll be like, come over here. I'm going to beat your ass. Let's go. Do it.
Hopefully you don't pass out, Arnold.
Well, Arnold, we definitely appreciate you, you know, flying in. Obviously, with short notice, you're here, and we will definitely, you know, get back to you before the end of the show. We want to hear some more opinions about that. Listen, get some
Donna just
oxygen.
looks fantastic today. Look at the
You
mirror.
do.
Look like I'm 20
You know,
years
your skin, whatever lotion you're using for your skin is very plastic-like. The cheekbones are real high, real. You know, you're looking fit, my friend. Definitely looking fit.
I just wanted to tell you, you know what, fix your skin like this? You go to Mark Sunny's house, he will give you a bottle of the secret sauce.
I love it.
It's the new Cocoa Shea Butter.
The Cocoa Shea Butter is not a sponsor of Double Barrel Gaming, but we will take their check if they want to join. There's no problem about that. But thank you so much for that, brother. Noof, you know, the question really is, are we ready for another Silent Hill, or now potentially a pair of Silent Hills? Because again, it has been a while. It's 2012, and quite frankly, that was not a good game. That was, that was a really poor Silent Hill. A lot of people, it's very forgettable for a lot of people. For you, are you excited to get not just one but two Silent Hills? But more importantly, because of the relationship with Bloober Team and Microsoft, because we know that there's usually that 1 year or at least a 6 months, gap between releasing on the Series X and, of course, then releasing to other platforms. Do you see potentially someone like a Phil Spencer seeing this and saying, "Hey, listen, we want this as an exclusive because it's possible that Sony will have their own Silent Hill"?
I definitely could see the time exclusive thing. I don't know if it'd be something that would come out and be like wholeheartedly exclusive, but I mean, Silent Hill needs to return. They need to strike while the iron's hot. Right now, Resident Evil has never been bigger or better in the last few years, and they know that. And Konami has sort of struggled with a sense of relevancy over the last few years. I don't know what happened to them. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, Konami was almost as synonymous as Capcom. It was
yes, they certainly were.
They had so many great titles and so many different IPs, and and it just kind of fell off the radar. I don't know what happened to them. If they struggled to find a perfect hit, or it seemed like almost ever since like the whole Kojima Metal Gear fiasco with them, it's almost like since then that company has almost disappeared. It's been just a shell of its former self. They could
100%.
return to some glory with a fantastic Silent Hill game. Bloober Team obviously has enough know-how and talent, I think, to certainly bring out a very good game. I mean, some people really love the medium, some people didn't, but I mean, there was a lot of technical prowess in that particular game. It was definitely, Bloober Team is still relatively experienced compared to some other major developers out there, but they did show off that they have plenty of potential. They know how to do atmosphere, certainly graphics and different things. So, if they can hook up and be a match made in heaven here and certainly make a fantastic title that could show off the Xbox and stuff, I definitely, like I said, they need to strike now when the iron is hot. Bring this franchise back while it's still semi-relevant and people are clamoring for it. So why not? Let's do it. Let's get it out there, and let's hope that they can bring out a game in the near future. I know the horror fans, Silent Hill and Resident Evil, outside of those two, I mean, what really comes to mind? Those are kind of the pinnacles of this, because they've been established ever since, the Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 era. You know what I mean? It's those kind of games, and they definitely have the know-how. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting. As far as the exclusivity part, it's not a be all end all. I don't think it even needs to be, but it would be a feather in the cap, even some timed exclusivity, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Real quick before I get over to Mag, because I don't know how much time he has, I want to thank a couple of people. Percolator 9000 dropped a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Good morning, Boom. I am free, no work tonight. Wow, stacked panel this morning. Have a great show." Well, listen, congratulations on having a day off. There's nothing wrong with that, and hopefully you spend a lot of time gaming. Robert Olson drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "I travel for work, so this device sounds perfect for me." Of course, he's talking about the Steam Deck. The Wise Old Gamer says, "Happy birthday, Noof. Lapped you around the sun by a year. Just got back. Wanted to drop some love. Buying a Steam Deck, $629, baby. Buying the Switch OLED as well." You see, I'm right there with you. He drops a $5 super chat. And Philly Eagle, generous friend of the show, he drops a $5 super chat and says, "The old beasters of gaming, the OBG podcast." Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're a bunch of old MFs on this show for sure.
Take it easy, Philly.
Except for your man Big Cloud down at the bottom.
Yeah, he's the kid of the podcast for sure, and that's good. That's excellent. But Mag, listen, you are a fan of horror. We know that for an absolute fact. This is an opportunity. And again, Konami is just going to be Konami. So we're not really bringing them into the conversation because they're making pachinko machines with these IPs. They could care less about Castlevania.
Exactly what I was just about to say.
Yeah, they don't care. But who does care is Bloober Team. And again, we have to preface at this. If you liked Blair Witch, great. If you didn't, I hear you. If The Medium, which is a new IP, wasn't your thing, I hear you. But Silent Hill is an IP that rings true for a lot of old school gamers, specifically who started playing games on the PlayStation 1, because that is where that IP found life. And it has been a while. And I mean, when I'm saying well over a decade, because the last time we got a game was 2012, and it was terrible. It was a money grab then. This is not a money grab now. This is giving the IP to a team that's extremely talented and knows how to scare the hell out of its audience. Where do your excitement levels go for this? And should Xbox lock this up as an exclusive?
Okay, first things first. I was there from day one for the very first Silent Hill. I'm sure everybody here on that panel, except for 3-Bit, were there. We were old enough to play all those games. So, you know, I love the series. I've actually even played the ones that a lot of people didn't like.
Yeah.
I still played them. I still enjoyed them too. Now, the thing is, this is an unprecedented situation here. If you think about it, when was the last time you can think, I can't think of anything, of the last time you would have the same intellectual property possibly being made at the same time,
From two
possibly
perspectives.
on two sides of the fence.
Yes,
Mhm.
I love it.
This is a bizarre, I can't even think of the words. Can you imagine me not being able to speak? I just got to say, it is so bizarre to me that I can't wrap my head around what they're going to do. However, I have a theory. My theory is
He's
this.
gonna use my. You're going to take my whole spiel
Well,
right now, and
I'm
I
sorry,
know you
King, he
are.
called on me
I will,
first.
listen. I will.
Yeah.
I will text it to Boom right now because I know what you're going to say.
I
You're
might
going to say
surprise
that I'm what? What's that? Like, Miss Cleo. But I know what you're going to say.
Where's
Because
your
go
hat?
ahead, say it. Say it. Just say it and get it out now.
Okay, look it. This is my theory. It might be completely different, King. Who the hell knows?
No. It's
Anyways, this is what I'm thinking. My thinking, okay, we've all played Blair Witch. We've all played The Medium. We've played, some of us have played Layers of Fear. I've played it. I didn't play the second one. I still got to get to that one. Now, I think that Bloober makes somewhat smaller, more focused stories that are sort of singular in fashion. And so what I think that is going to happen is that, now they did say word for word, guys, this is a quote, prominent Japanese studio.
Yes.
Okay. This is not, you know, whoever's making whatever little tiny games here and there. We're talking big. Okay. When they say prominent Japanese studio, it's Konami saying that. You're talking a Capcom. You're talking a Square. Like, we don't know who's doing this. They haven't said anything
I would have
yet.
said Japan Studios, but
Japan Studios is gone, aren't they?
it's gone. Yeah, they're gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at like the big guns. So what I think is going to happen is that they're going to try and build a series, possibly a trilogy, maybe something bigger, depending on how it's received. It's going to go to that Japanese studio.
Right.
Okay. It's going to be the big mainline, streamlined Silent Hill, maybe even a continuation from one of the old ones, and maybe have a callback to one of those. It'll be part of the mainline storyline, will be going to the Japanese studio.
Right.
I personally think that the Bloober game will be one of those one-offs set in the Silent Hill universe, but not connected to the main storyline at all.
Interesting.
Okay,
That
I
is-
do not think that Mr. Pyramid Head there is going to show up in this Silent Hill. I think it's going to be one of those little side stories. Like, for example, here, American Horror Story. You know, the show that's on TV,
Yes.
whatever?
Love it.
Okay,
Love it.
great show, right? Well, this year, you know what they're doing? They're doing a spin-off series called American Horror Stories.
Yes.
And it's going to be an anthology series where each episode will be its own standalone story.
Okay.
I have a feeling that Bloober, but they're also going to do the streamlined main American Horror Story is going to go on top of this.
Yeah,
What
they're
I'm-
bringing back a lot of the older characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to continue. But then this other little, anthology series is going to happen on the side with little one-offs. Each episode is going to be its own thing. I have a feeling that the Bloober project is going to be a one-off set in that Silent Hill universe, and it'll be a smaller, obviously a more focused story based in that universe, but not going to be big and bombastic in the way that I think the Japanese studio version is going to be. Because I think that the Japanese studio version is going to be like your MCU style, where it's going to be big, it's going to build on the past, and what it's going to do is it's going to set up for the future.
Okay.
Also, do not think that either one of these games will be exclusive.
I got it. Okay, so we were kind of close.
Hold on, not done. I'm not done.
Okay.
I still think that Bloobers is going to be day one in Game Pass.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
But
no doubt
they're going to
about
be
that.
available for both systems.
All right. So
That's all I got to say.
all right. So all right.
What's up, King?
This is a little bit where my thing differs, right? All right. So the Bloober Team, Silent Hill, in my opinion, like you said, it's going to be a focused, condensed game, and I think it was going to take place in the Silent Hill universe, right? But I think to kick off the Silent Hill universe, they're going to do a remake of the first one. And they're gonna have Blue Point push that button and actually get that thing popping. That's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't think of that.
Got him.
See, you got him.
I didn't think of that.
Got him. So
Yeah, you did.
but that's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive. The Bloober Team probably might be a timed exclusive. But it's to reinvigorate the Silent Hill franchise, because we have to reintroduce all the people that didn't get a chance to play the main ones, the first,
one and two,
which was phenomenal.
Fantastic.
When we got to 2, we was blown away from the visuals, from the story, from everything. It really had encapsulated everything that we thought horror should be at that period of time and what the machines was capable of doing. So I believe for them to actually get that crowd back, to get that back up, because we would definitely purchase, right? And to get the new crowd in, do a remake, have Blue Point do it, and Blue Point are the best at doing these things.
They are masters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They do that, and then you have Bloober do a story in the world of Silent Hill. Who's to say that it's not episodic if it's not tied to Microsoft? And if it's episodic tied to Microsoft, which Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer has already alluded to, what he will love to have going on inside of Game Pass, which Fair Street, if you're watching Netflix right now,
fantastic.
Has some episodic, scary stuff going on, and the numbers look really ridiculous. If that stuff is emulated in the gaming space, that every 6 months you get a new episode or something like that, dear God.
Yeah.
It's my take.
You know what? It's an interesting take, and one that I never even considered, because you're onto something. Phil did say that he wants more episodic type content for Game Pass, and it literally is the perfect medium for it.
Now, imagine,
no pun intended.
Imagine alternating months with whatever Kojima's working on too.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right. So then every couple of months you get a new episode of whatever you got going on. Now you've got a Disney Plus situation here.
Oh yes,
right.
You do. And what happened?
You banging off of Star Wars, banging off of whatever, right?
Yes.
Yep. Can't get out of there.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
Keep them coming back.
Keeping you engaged.
Keep you engaged.
Why do you think they start new shows halfway through the month?
Yes.
So that you pay for 3 months instead of 2 months for an 8-episode show, right?
It's one of those situations, Mag, that what does it do? It drives people to subscribe to the service. Real quick, we got to welcome in and on camera Enrique from Basement Radio Arcade.
Hey,
what's up there, brother? How you feeling?
Yeah, look, I would have been here sooner, but and I can't even really stay here that long because my job's crazy busy today.
No, it's okay, dude. Listen, we're happy you're here.
But yeah, I had a little bit of a break. I'm like, let me pop in real quick and say hello. And by the way, all-star panel here, man. You got Lord King, you got Mag, you got Big Cloud. I mean, this is you get Nukem. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, again, this started out with 2 people, and it has exploded into because it's just circumstances are what they are. But you know what? While we have you, Enrique, we're talking Silent Hill. We have a good feeling that we know that Bloober Team has teamed up with Konami. That's public knowledge. We know that there's a second IP and a second Silent Hill IP, and we're pretty sure, and I think King really hit on at a home run, that Blue Point is going to be making it. And in fact, if that is the case, that is probably and more likely going to be a PlayStation exclusive, potentially even a remake of the original. I'm all in on that because
they're gonna get my $70.
Oh, in a freaking! I know we complain about it, but I'm dropping 70, no questions asked, because Silent Hill 1 was dope, and the developer potentially behind it, at Blue Point, they are the masters of bringing back older IPs. For Bloober Team specifically, are you excited to see what they bring? And do you think that this is some sort of a timed exclusive for Xbox, like they've done some of their other titles?
All right, so Bloober Team. I haven't been a big fan of their games per se. I think they make okay games. I hope with the proper amount of resources, maybe money, that they can hit it out of the park with Silent Hill, because Silent Hill is it's legendary status in my opinion in terms of that horror franchise, right? Or that horror genre, I should say. But I don't, is it going to be timed exclusive? Yeah, I could see that. I could see it going to Game Pass as a timed exclusive, a deal. And I think given Microsoft's relationship with them, it makes sense. I just hope again, if you like their games in the past, that's great. I'm not knocking that. Their games just haven't really resonated with me. I think there's a consensus that for the most part they're probably okay to average games, and in my opinion, like Silent Hill's not an okay to average franchise, although it kind of waned a little bit later on in its life. But I hope they knock it out of the park. But either way, because it's Silent Hill, I'm still gonna play it.
Yeah, me too.
I think a lot of us, especially here on the panel, wanted a Silent Hill remake probably for a long time, right? There's like Konami's sitting on a lot of franchise. We know that they're not just licensing out Silent Hill. There's Castlevania. About Metal Gear. That remember Metal Gear Solid remake on PlayStation. Yeah. So I'm just as a gamer, I'm just excited about the opportunity to play these games on current generation platform.
I agree.
And selfishly speaking, I think Big Cloud might agree with me on this. Hopefully it comes to PC, right?
Take it easy, you two.
That's right. That's right. PC Master Race in the house.
Well, you do know
buy a Steam Deck.
You do know if it does go to the PlayStation, it'll be on PC 6 months later.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Gotta shoot my shots.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, Boom. I mean, I think we're all excited here on the panel, right? This is
100%.
This is amazing news. I mean, talk about an iconic franchise and a game that just brings back so many memories for me. I'm hyped. I'm hyped, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm happy Konami's finally not resting on their laurels. And I don't know, what do they do? They make like Pachinko machines, right?
Yes, that's what they use these things. All of their Pachinko machines are character related in some way.
They make a ton of money, man.
They make a ton of money, but that's not what we want per se.
Yeah, because we're not out there.
You're definitely on something. And Millage Gaming Guy made a good point. It's unprecedented. We're gonna have 2 Silent Hills potentially. One's going to be on an Xbox for at least a timed exclusive, what we think. And then if Blue Point comes into the play, maybe that's when they announce they have become officially a part of SIE, and they announce the Silent Hill game, as well as potentially the Metal Gear Solid remake, which Big Cloud, I want to grab your opinion on the Blue Point potential with, I know you have your ear to the floor and you have certainly more connections in that area than I do. Blue Point, obviously, if you're going to give any IP to, my God, give them Silent Hill, because we know if they make the first one and they remake it the way that they make it, it's going to be something special. Now, I know a lot of people are on the fence, and King said it, Mag said it, Noof has said it, Brap said it, even I have said it. Right now, Bloober Team is just, they're right there. They're just under the cusp of saying, holy cow, this game is incredible, because their games are 60, 70 metas. And I'm not saying they're bad games. I'm saying that if they, with the proper funding, and the proper IP, they could make a real special game. We know that they've teamed up with Konami. We know that it's going to be a Silent Hill game. Where do you fall on that? But more specifically on how they're going to bring this this classic IP to new gamers. That's for you, Big Cloud. Oh, I think you're no.
Okay,
Is
no.
Yeah, he's like,
no. I heard him like last time my thing went.
King, his PC locked up.
There you go.
Oh,
All
man.
right. So there have been so many reports for Silent Hills we've heard for the longest. The biggest thing with Konami, obviously, licensing the games out because they don't know what to do with these IPs at all. As you guys saw what they did with Metal Gear Solid, they turned into a damn zombie game where they had crystals for brains.
Terrible.
And then they charge you for save slots for that set game. Yeah, I remember that. So the possibilities for this to go to Xbox and have have its own exclusive version, it is definitely up there because again, they're just open to get that game done. They pretty much said they're willing to work with anybody to make a game. Now, as far as PlayStation concerned, with the whole Silent Hills thing, that has kind of been like the biggest question mark for a while, as you guys already seen the whole conspiracy that continues to go with the developer behind Abandoned, which is Blue Box Game Studios. Again, they pretty much said they're not doing it, but at the same time, people will not lose. They're not giving up on the fact that it could be that from Hassan Kurum. I don't think that's him, but more likely that would be Kojima if he actually did get the opportunity to make this. I think it's Kojima, but I would love to see it if it's possible. I would like to see it. The fact that it would drop on next gen consoles, for me personally, to see a game like that drop on next gen would be the equivalent of seeing Dino Crisis.
Yes,
that pushed into the next level. Yeah, that would be the equivalent of that, seeing that pushed to the next level and really just seeing people, actually scared for a change because games nowadays are toned down when it comes to horror. I'm looking at you, Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, come on, it's not some scary stuff in there.
Look, I'll say as a diehard
it's got some jump moments.
It does.
Listen. After
it does, but it's no Resident 7.
No more.
Let's
no,
just
Resident
say
Evil
that.
7 was the pinnacle.
It really listen. I haven't even beaten 8 yet. You know what I'm saying? And that's because I don't like the game.
I haven't even played it.
It kind of. I like it. I just did not
finish
like it.
7. I got 2 and I got 3, and when I finish those, then I will partake. You have crazy backlog.
I finished 8 4 times now.
I think 7's better than 8 from what I
heard. You probably finished that remake though, didn't you?
King. I sympathize for you, sir. I sympathize.
See, now I'm playing Dragon Quest 11. So, sir, please, sir.
You're gonna be playing for quite some time. So listen, folks, I'm gonna say this real quick. MK in the chat drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, "Please find a way to ask Phil Spencer about Banjo 3." Let me tell you about that, dude. I have been banging this banjo drum to the point of nauseum. I don't understand what the problem is. I honestly
you know what the
don't
problem is,
get
bro?
it.
You know what the problem is?
What's that?
Ukulele. Ukulele is a damn good game.
Get those people to make a banjo.
Yeah, well, get over there and play ukulele. I mean,
I was a backer on that project.
If these people decide to actually play these games, then they can see that these games are viable.
Yeah, no,
it's
just one of those IPs that I believe really deserves a resurgence of some way, and hopefully that happens. But listen, I'll say this. On what started out with just 2 people ended up on being one of my favorite shows because we really ran the gambit here. I want to thank everybody for popping in. Brap, obviously love what you do. Big Cloud, thanks for joining us. Middle-aged gamer guy literally left work. He said, "You know what? I'm be home in 10 minutes." King David jumped in. King David saw that it was 2 people. He's like, "I gotta help Boom out. He's coming from work."
Hey,
and what's that?
Hey, Boom. Can I ask middle-aged gaming guy or Mag a quick question?
Yeah,
sure.
Man.
Did you get that Switch OLED pre-order yesterday?
Come on, stop it. I had this talk on your show. We're not going to have this talk again. I almost lost my voice that night.
I love his rant on Brad. It was so good.
By the way, did you see how many comments you got in the show in the YouTube channel?
Yes.
About me, about that rant.
Hey, Mag,
they hate me or they love me. No in between.
Hey, Mag, at least you redeemed yourself. You burned the receipt, and now you're going to buy. the Steam Deck.
You know I'm gonna buy it. It's impossible. Like I bitch about it, and you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be in my hands, just like every other console. I complained about the PS5 for what, a year? I got 2 of them. Anyways, sorry.
Well,
Go
listen,
ahead.
You're that guy then. You're that guy.
Yeah, who's definitely that guy. And I'm that guy also. Listen, I love tech, and listen, why not? I mean, it's my, for me personally, it's my only vice. But I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank the chat. We had almost 400 people here, which is awesome. Obviously, this is still a small, growing channel. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll hit that 10K. We're close. We're under 1,400. And if you're new to the, new to the channel, new to the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is the kind of fun content you are going to get. I do 4 live shows weekly. You get 2 Xbox shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You get bookends on Primetime Gaming on Monday evenings, and you get Breakfast with Boom on Fridays. And of course, there are occasions where there's something big that happens, and I throw Wednesday's show into the mix. But I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the super chats that continue to come in. The reason why we're able to do 2 monster giveaways that we're doing this next week on both Xbox shows is because of the super chats. Both Mrs. Boomstick and I kind of repurposed the funds after you get clobbered by Google, who takes 30%, to fund giveaways, and we are giving away 2 $100 Xbox gift cards, so you can go and buy yourself a new controller from, of course, the program that they just started. Make your controller however you want. We're going to pay for it. We're going to give you enough money for for whatever you want to do with the controller and the shipping. And all you got to do is tune into the show this Tuesday, this Thursday. Once we get enough people in, by topic number 3, Mrs. Boom is going to do the picker, and we're going to find the winner, and those codes, those $100 codes, will go out immediately. Of course, I want to thank the panel, and the panel was a rotating panel. Haven't had that in a while. And we're going to start with the birthday boy himself, Noof Nukem, who actually reached out to me the other day, and I was like, Noof, my God, thank you. Yeah, I needed guests, and it was just me and you to start. Noof, happy birthday. Thanks for being here, brother, and tell everyone where they can check out not only Gaming After Dark, but also your new and fantastic show, Good Morning Xbox, on Sunday mornings. And also, where can people reach out to you and potentially talk about erect bacon on social media?
Okay, well, something tells me, Boom, we're going to have to get a shirt coin with that on it for sure, eh? So get on that. But anyway, it was a pleasure to be here. Obviously, like I said, I couldn't come on a better day. I had the day off, and always an honor to be here. And this is probably one of the most dynamic panels you've assembled. Like I said, out of the blue. So fantastic, to be here with this all-star talent. And just a great day. Thanks to the chat. Thanks to everybody on social media for all the kind birthday wishes today. It makes this old fart feel nice and loved. So thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. Obviously, Gaming After Dark with that sexy bastard over there, middle-aged game guy. We'll be back again Tuesday night. Should be a good show. Hopefully Titan's back with us as well. And you said Jesse Darby earlier. Jesse is hopefully going to be on with us on Tuesday night. If all works out, he's supposed to go one-on-one with Titan in Drago's corner. That should be a good laugh. Let's hope Jesse can bring the heat, because we know that Titan always resorts to his smite antics. So, of course, yes, on Sunday mornings, my new podcast with another fantastic panel, Good Morning Xbox. Not always Xbox centric, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have a little bit to say about this new Steam Deck on Sunday morning. But yeah, you can check it out at 9 Eastern, which is 7 a.m. Mountain Time. It's a very early rise, but we appreciate the support we've gotten so far and look to continue that. So, but again, guys, thanks so much for having me. And Boom, obviously a pleasure. Thanks again, guys. Have a great Friday.
Thanks, brother.
Happy
Thanks,
birthday,
appreciate
Happy
that.
birthday, brother.
And,
Happy birthday, Noof.
Lord King David jumped in as soon as he got home from work. Definitely appreciate you being here, King. You got a lot of stuff going on, and again, I have to preface that how impressive the growth of the Iron Lords has been, and that is due to the panel you put. I mean, you guys, the work that you guys put in on every Sunday has to be commended, and I'm not ashamed to continue to say it, because it is. It went from we can't get to 1,000 to you're just about to 10,000. And that is a big, big jump. And that is due to the tenacity of you specifically, because of what you do on the show, off the show, and in social media. Tell everyone about where they can reach out to you and strike up a conversation. But more importantly, talk about King of Statues. Talk about Lord, the website lordsofgaming.net, and also talk about the Iron Lords podcast.
Well, thank you, Boom. I tuned in and I saw my man in distress.
I was going like this.
And I was like, I'm texting the hell out of you. I'm texting the hell out of you. I even called your phone. And I'm like, he's not looking at his phone. And I went into the chat and I said, everybody, tell Boom to look at his phone. Look at his
what's funny?
phone.
My phone's plugged into the charger. Usually it's sitting right here to the left side of me. And I'm like, I didn't even remember.
So I said, I got a super chat. I got to send money. So I'm like, Boom, look at your damn phone. Send me the link. Send me the link now. There's no way. Like I told you, I'm working the kinks out of this new company that I'm working on, and I'm trying to nail down certain things because you want to get the maximum amount of dollars for the shortest amount of time.
Absolutely.
And that should always be your goals in life. You're always supposed to make the most out of the least amount of time that you can use. All right. So, and if anybody's out here thinking they're going to work longer, and don't do that. I hate to hear people put in 13, 14-hour days and not getting paid, and 13, 14, times that time of money is not worth it.
Right.
Figure it out. Trust me. But anyway. So my man in distress, I said, let me get over here to the show. Definitely had to get over here to the show. And I love just hanging out with you. I love just talking stuff, and I see the topics that you are bringing up, and those are the topics I definitely wanted to approach. As far as the Iron Lords podcast, yes, we are really in grind mode time. Shows is opening back up. So I got vaccinated 2 days ago, and it hit me like a building, like those buildings that you're dropping on people here. It hit me like a building. I'm not gonna lie, I had every symptom that they have on that paper. I had every symptom that they have. When they say that you have chills, listen, people, it's not what the symptoms are, it's how those symptoms hit you.
Yeah.
If you feel like you have a fever, you don't actually have a fever, you just burning hot like you're the sun. Right. And you have that and you're just sweating profusely, and you could be sitting under AC, just not going to save you. If they say you're going to have chills, then picture yourself butt naked sitting on an ice cube, because that's what you're doing. Right. So and then if they say you have muscle aches, you have muscle aches over your whole damn body, even your eyeballs. All right. So if they tell you have a headache, imagine an elephant sitting on the top of your head. There you go. So
that and the fatigue. Oh my God.
Oh, forget about you're not getting up. All right.
Exactly.
Just lay down in the fetal position and just have at it, because that's where you at, and that's what I had. And I couldn't do Everborn and Kesante, real to real on Thursday, because I was completely done. But I'm made it today, Friday, and to hang out with Boom. But we needed to do this stuff, and us at the Iron Lords podcast, we're all vaccinated or almost fully vaccinated, because we go to these shows.
Yeah.
So you will see us at PAX. You will see us at Play NYC, Playcraft New York this year in August. So if you're in New York and you definitely want to see the Lords, come down to Play NYC. I encourage it. I encourage you to come out and see Dan Butchko. He's the CEO. He's there. He
was on last Sunday.
Yes. An incredibly engaging guy. The place is a fantastic place. If you're in New York or in the New York area and you happen to be a developer or you play games and you want to know more about games, please make it your business to find out more about Playcraft and Play NYC. Go to lordsofgaming.net, where you can see more of KOS. That's King of the Statues. I have a ton of statues. Electro is the next statue that I'm doing. Nice. The problem with Electro is Electro never had any meaningful stories. So I got something for you, and I'm pretty sure it would tickle your fancy when I tell you why he's in my Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery, and he is probably my favorite amongst his villains because of some things that he does. So thank you, Boom, so much. I do appreciate it. And Noof, again, happy birthday. Mag.
Yeah.
We did it, baby. We here. and Big Cloud, you know, Enrique, you know, it's always love, brat, always to the end. All right.
Well, thank you very much,
guys.
King, for definitely jumping in. Definitely appreciate that. And Mag, we got to say,
Yes,
first
sir.
of all, thank you so much for jumping in. We pulled you away from work. Hopefully, that was a good thing because you know you'd rather be talking about video games and actually working.
Oh yeah, don't worry about
it. Listen, you'll be back Monday night. This Monday, we have a special guest. I'll be making the announcement of who that will be joining us. It's a really big industry insider. I'm looking forward to getting his opinion. Tell everyone, Mag, about not only where else you could be found, but talk about what you've been doing, anything on the music front, because I know that you've been working behind the scenes about, you know, adding, you know, the music situation to your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
What's up with that? And tell everyone where they can reach out to you on social media.
Well, first of all, it was a great show today. I had a lot of fun, and it was an honor to be on here with all of you guys. And of course, I got my one wish that I've been asking for a long time, at least to myself and to my wife, is to be on a show with King David. So it finally happened. But anyways, guys, it was great as always. You can follow me on Twitter at the Middle Age Game Guy. That's with a GY at the end, of course. On the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, you can find me at all one word, all capitals, because I don't know how to be quiet. I am the Mag. That is with 2 G's. Obviously, I'm normally not here on the Fridays because I'm usually working. But, however, Mondays, you can find me at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with that handsome fellow right there, Mr. Boomstick XL and friends on Primetime Gaming. Tuesday night, you can find me with the birthday boy, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Gaming After Dark with, of course, Noof Nukem and Titan Drago. And yes, Boom, now that you brought it up, I am going to be doing some more stuff with Pulse Music Media. We are working on all kinds of things. I think I'm going to send you a video of the new video that was worked on doing Memories of Mother from God of War. And it is pretty remarkable work. So I'm going to send that out very soon. You can take a look at it. And yes, I will be doing some more collaborations with Pulse Music Media and with Ubisoft and hopefully Sony Santa Monica on doing some of their music. And also, we're looking to do some music from Naughty Dog as well. And so that's going to be happening very soon. So keep an eye out for Pulse Music Media. Actually, on TikTok right now, it just crossed 200,000 followers. So
wow,
it's doing pretty well, doing pretty amazing. And yeah, anyways, other than that, guys, it was a great show. You caught me on camera. Hi, guys. I'm not on camera very often because I have a bad back and I'm always constantly doing this. So, you know, it's a pain in the ass to watch me. But anyways, guys, it was a great show. We'll see you guys all Monday night.
Well, thanks so much for that. Real quick, Dan the Man Cunningham drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Big shout out to King David for saving Boom from himself." Yes, indeed. This was one of the, this was definitely one of those. But first of all, BitCloud, thanks so much for joining us, brother. Tell everyone about what you got going on today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and where can people reach out to you on social media and sub your YouTube channel. Now, have you crossed the 10K, and how close are you?
So I am 124 subscribers away.
Folks,
from 10K.
listen, you're still in the chat. We got 282 people here. If you haven't subbed this man's channel, let's get him past 10K, folks. It's a big deal.
Well, a lot of crazy stuff is opened up for the channel. I got offered this crazy new deal. It's like a little sponsorship from Hex Gaming. So you're gonna see a crazy, you're gonna see something pretty cool very soon from them. As far as PlayStation is concerned, got a lot of interviews lined up. I actually have to wait for some, but I'm waiting for those. As far as today, RGT Podcast is back, so you're gonna see me and Blaze 4K go over everything that we've kind of missed. We kind of missed 2 shows, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about. It's going to be condensed to the point. A lot of opinions on a lot of things that's been happening lately. But yeah, it was a good show. I'm sorry for being late. Again, high appointment. Can't.
Listen, real life, brother.
Do all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I guess they're going to do a follow-up now. They went and looked behind that. I'm like, oh, God, this is going to take a minute. So they did all the results. But everything's good. But as far as, you guys can find me, of course, you can find me here every morning at 10 with my homie, Mr. Boomstick XL. You can find me at RGT Podcast on my channel, Big Cloud Gaming. You can find me Big Cloud Gaming, of course, on Twitter as well. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next week.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for being here. And Basement Radio Arcade Podcast of the voice, the subtle voice of the weekly show on Wednesdays. Brad, thank you so much. Enrique, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Definitely appreciate you being here. First of all, you guys have been doing some crazy work over there, and you've been grinding for a long time. We got to get more people to sub that channel because, quite frankly, it's a great conversation each and every week. Brad, sell your brand and tell everyone where they can reach out to you on social media.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Boom. I just want to say it's always an honor and pleasure to be on here with you, man. And sorry I couldn't be here earlier, man, but I got to sneak in for a couple minutes and hang out with really an all-star panel of guests here, man. I mean, Noof, King, Mag, Big Cloud Gaming, yourself. I mean, you really had the panel stacked today. So it's a great show as always. But if you want to give me a follow on the Twitters, it's Brap_podcast. And on the YouTube, it's Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We go live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And although we do have a special Brap tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do a Brap rant. There's no Crossfire tonight, so I'm usually on that show. And since there's no Crossfire at 7, I was going to do a Brap rant. Instead, I said, why the hell not? I'll just do one Friday night at 7 p.m. So I'm going to do that tonight.
Nice.
And definitely come check that out. We're going to have Creative Kofi on and Eric Cuts for the Win.
Nice.
And may have some of the other Brap panel members on as well. So definitely check that out. But boom, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for the invite. And if you guys can see that Gallahorn in the back, that's my baby right there.
I see it, and I didn't buy it myself. That's one of my favorite weapons for Destiny. And but listen, Brad, looking forward to tonight's bonus show. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say about that. Love the work that you guys are doing on your channel. And of course, I'm going to close out today. First of all, let me say a big thank you to the people that dropped the super chats. Super grateful. And again, that allows us to do the giveaways, which we're doing 2 big ones next week. And I'll be posting on the social media later on who our guest is for Monday night's primetime gaming. It is an industry insider, and you're going to be really jazzed to see who it is. And of course, I'm going to close out today's show with something that's important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were young. And he said, son, treat others how you want to be treated. Also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.